This is Wyatt. He's 4 months old, and we're going to have his first puppy trim today. A puppy trim is kind of a little mini trim. It introduces them to grooming. We trim the face, feet, fanny, and they get a bath, and we do their nails. I like putting the dog in the bath before I prepare the shampoo, just because it lets them get a little used to the noises and the water flowing, and they can kind of smell and investigate and see what's going on. We use concentrated shampoos that we dilute based on the instructions on the bottle. The shampoo I'm using on him is our shampoo called Well and Good. It's a tearless shampoo, so I can use it on his face and on his body. It's a very gentle shampoo, so we don't have to use too much, and puppies should be using a gentle shampoo just because we never know if they're going to have a skin allergy. You don't really know much about puppies when they're babies. So this is me getting him wet before I put the shampoo on him, and I like to put the water on super duper low while I get his face wet, so if he has any eye boogies it is easy to get off. Even though the shampoo's tearless, I am really careful to not get it in their eyes. I just, I don't know. You never know for sure if it hurts them or not, so it's better safe than sorry just to be careful. Letting the shampoo sit on his face allows me to easily remove any buildup that's accumulated in front of his eyes. And then I give him a little massage and get the rest of his body. A clean face is a cute face, we always say. I saturate most of his body in the shampoo, and then I scrub him, paying special attention to his legs and his feet and his rear end under the tail. This is really relaxing for the dogs, I think. He's not having too hard of a time here. I always double make sure that I scrub the feet, because I've had times where I'll wash the whole entire dog and I just didn't get the feet very well, and the dog will leave little muddy footprints, and I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta wash you again. So I double and triple scrub the feet just to make sure. Having a restraint isn't the key to keeping your dog in the tub. We keep it on for safety, if we were to turn our back or reach for something. But this is super loose, and he could get right out of it if he wants to. But you don't need to restrain your dog to bathe it. You just need to know what your dog likes and doesn't like. But a tether or a restraint is definitely a helpful tool if your dog is bonkers in the bath. But Wyatt's pretty chill. He did really well for being just a puppy and not being professionally groomed ever. For his first time, he's so good. After he's rinsed off, it's time to dry. I like to turn the dryer on and touch the dog so they can see that, the sound isn't something scary, and hopefully they can connotate it with tickles or pets instead of just big scary loud thing. When I'm getting a dog used to the blow dryer, I like to make it short and sweet. If they're acting really good, I will stop drying just so that they can see, oh, look, good boy, I don't have to be blow dried anymore. Dogs are very conditionable, and if they see that they react badly and I stop, then that is definitely a way to accidentally train your dog to be a little spaz for the dryer. But he's doing really well, but I didn't want to jinx it, so as soon as I kind of felt like he was mostly dry, I got most of the heavy water off, I put him in the kennel for a break. Wyatt's coat is in great shape, so he was in the kennel while I was checking in some other dogs, and he dried really, really well, so I didn't really have to do any drying on him. But now it's time to brush him, and I like to start brushing with a comb just to kind of see where there's any thick spots or tangles or things that I need to focus on. And I also like to see his reaction to a little bit of tugging, or if he's reactive to the tool. It kind of gives me an idea of what's going on. Now I'm switching over to my slicker brush. This is an Artero flexible slicker brush, and I love this brush. It works so well for brushing out little tangles. If you're familiar with my TikTok, you know that I will not demat a dog. I will not put a dog through any kind of pain or tortured for a certain aesthetic. So if a dog is super matted, I will just shave it. So that's the best way to go. And right now I'm just kind of brushing out any little hairs that are stuck together, and I'm lifting the hair now to do some line brushing on his side. Line brushing is amazing. It helps get to the skin, and a lot of dogs that don't shed or are considered hypoallergenic, they do have dead fur that needs to be removed. If you don't shed for the dog by brushing it out, then that's when your dog will get matted and get knots. Wyatt is being such a good boy. It's important to clean off the dead hair from the brush, because if you continue brushing with your brush full of his hair, you can cause brush burn to his skin. If you want a tutorial on line brushing, I'm planning on making a video on that, but I do have a highlight in my Instagram highlights that shows a better angle of exactly what line brushing is. But it basically makes sure that you get down to the skin and get all that dead hair out. Brushing is also super important to help distribute the oils, and it keeps your dog fluffy, and I think it keeps them cleaner looking longer. So brushing 3 to 4 times a week effectively is going to keep your dog fluffy and clean looking, and you won't dry out its skin by washing it too much. After brushing, I like to take my comb again and check for any thick spots or areas I may have missed. The tail is an area that is really good for combing, and he says, I'm just going to lay down right here. I'm going to get brushed. I'm just going to relax and lay on down because I'm a good boy. And this feels nice. I like to get brushed. Oof, big yawn. I like to give my dogs little voices. Like, when I was a kid, my grandparents would see dogs walking down the street, and my grandma and my grandpa would have full-on conversations in their dog voices for what the dogs think about their owners. And it was so funny because their dogs would always be so rude, or the dog voices that they would make would be just super rude, and they'd cuss all the time. And it was just so funny because my grandparents are super old. They're born in the 30s, and they're just cursing about their humans and all this stuff. It was just a funny thing that we would do in the car or anytime we would see dogs. So some of my dogs have voices. Actually, all of my dogs have voices, but they're not vulgar. We have a couple that are cussers, but it's all in fun. We just have a good time with our dogs. I love my dogs so much. So here I found a couple thick spots, so I'm just going over with my slicker brush again just to make sure he's nice and fluffy and doesn't have any tangles, which he had no tangles. Mom and Dad keep him really, really well brushed. I think that he smells something here. I'm not really sure. He says, oh, is that my hair? Some puppies will try to eat their hair. It's really funny. That makes me think of this time where it was a very busy Saturday, and we had just hair all over the floor. Nobody was sweeping the hair. This was 10 or 11 years ago. And this dog needed to go out and had to walk through this hair, and it was a baby Labradoodle, and he legit just lifted his mouth open and completely bulldozed the hair on his way out. It was crazy and slightly disgusting. So this is me just showing Wyatt the clippers. I turned it on. It's really important to let your puppies sniff things and be curious, and it's a whole new world for them. He's only been in this world for 4 months, and now he's standing on a table and having loud things near him and brushes stroked on him. It's not a natural thing. So it's really important for their curiosity to let them see what's happening. Not that they understand it, but I don't know. I just think it helps to just not oh, bang, all of a sudden you have this loud thing that's almost the size of you touching you, especially with the little dogs. Wyatt's a pretty good sized dog. I guess he says, I'm going to chew my way out. I'm going to chew this, and what are you doing to my feet? Sometimes the hair on the pads of the feet will get matted, so it's important when you do come for grooming, if your dog has hairy pads, to shave them out. They collect a lot of sap sometimes, but just as part of maintenance, and it helps you when you scissor the foot. It helps to have a nicer foot. Trimming the sanitary, we use a number 10 blade and it gets it nice and clean down there. That's an area that is not really brushable, so it's important to keep that nice and tidy. And I think I'm talking to my coworker here, and he's just kind of like, excuse me, I guess if we're not doing this, I'm just going to lay back down because you be chatting, not paying attention to me. This is a very good sign. Him laying down like this is like shows me that he's really relaxed and comfortable, and just mentally he's a very good dog. He is super chill and compliant and very sweet. Look at him. He's like, yep, just at this weird place. I don't really know why I'm here, but she keeps, what are you going to do now? What are those? What are those? When I'm trimming the face, I like to touch in front of the eyes and kind of see how they react to the sound of the scissors and to my finger. He had a bit of a reaction, so I'm going to touch in front of his face a little more and show him that it's okay that something is in front of your face. So I'm kind of pinching the hair and pulling it up and rubbing the bridge of his nose so that it kind of desensitizes him to the scissoring that I'm about to do on his face. And once everything's kind of sticking up and he's kind of calmed down a little bit, I'll grab my scissors and trim away the hair in front of his eyes. I don't like to use the clippers on the nose when they're babies, especially if they're like a little bit nervous about having their face messed with the scissors, just because if they move, then I could shave a big part of their beard off and it'll look kind of ugly. After I get the hair out from the front of his eyes, I like to pull the hair on the sides forward. I call these the blinders, and trimming these down and blending them into the side of his head helps really open up the face and really gives that cute teddy look. And he's being a little like, excuse me, yeah, no, I don't want that. But once he saw that, oh, it's just those scissors again, we'll just stay still. He did pretty good for it. This definitely takes a lot of practice. A lot of people are like, gosh, you get so close with the scissors. Like, how do you do that so confidently with the scissors? Well, I've been doing this for kind of a long time, but it definitely did not come easy. It's something that you have to work with, and you have to read your dog. You see how he's moving his face. I pull my scissors away and try again as soon as he's kind of calm, but you don't want to have your scissors in front of his face if he's like thrashing around. Some puppies just aren't very good for grooming, and I guess Wyatt is the exception. He's actually being pretty much perfect, but some dogs are very, very scared of like the noise of the scissors or whatever's going on in the salon. If dogs are barking, it can be really overwhelming and a lot for them. And that's another reason why we ask for 3 to 4 hours to groom your dog, because we will give, or at least I will give, breaks and make sure that they're being taught, it's not a bad thing, and it's something that you need to get used to, especially the long-haired dogs. Now it's toenail time. If you watch my TikToks, I normally do toenails first, but with puppies, I do it sort of in the middle. I sandwich it between brushing and their final cleanup, just so I'm still not ending on it, but if they really, really hate it, I don't lose their trust right away. Dogs are so, I think I already said it, they're so conditionable, and I think it's important for them to end on a good note, and I feel like the spray and brushing after the toenails helps them to do that. This is me. Good job. You're doing a good job, buddy. I got one toe done. Now we got to do the other foot. Notice how he's kind of mouthing at my fingers and my tool. This is not an aggressive mouthiness. This is kind of a test my boundaries mouthiness. And one mistake that humans make here is when they nip, they stop trimming the nails. He's kind of chewing on my watch there, but when you stop trimming the nails after he bites, guess what you're teaching him? You're teaching him that if I bite, the thing that I don't want to happen is going to stop. There he goes, laying down again. I start talking to my coworkers, and that's my coworker, Bree. Hi, Bree. She has an Instagram. It's Bree Reads. I'll link it into the comments section, or however I do that. I don't know how to do it. If you're still here, hello, thank you. So now I'm doing his back feet, and I got sidetracked. He, like I said, mouthing, if they bite and it's not aggressive, then continue doing what you're doing as long as you're not in danger and the dog's not in danger. And eventually they're like, oh, well, I guess that didn't work. After he's done with his toenails, I'm watching my friend. Bree, please take me off the table. I don't want to be on the table no more. Can you please? Big yawn. I'm starting to run out of things to say, but we just spend a lot of time kind of loving on our puppies and making sure that it's a nice experience for them. And I probably noticed something that I wanted to trim more stuff out of his eyes. And look, perfect. Didn't even have to really touch his eyes. He says, oh, those scissors again. It's just scissors. Okay. Can you stop talking to your coworkers and pay attention to me? Pay attention to me. Is my mom here yet? Nope, she's not here yet. Okay, now what are we gonna do? Okay. What's happening? Quit talking. Less talking, more grooming, lady. Let's do it. Let's get it done so I can go home and play with my dog friend Pixie. Now it's time to trim his toes. I'm going to give him a little round foot. Don't bite the scissors. It says, I'm going to get the scissors. Don't do it. It's sharp. You don't want to do it. One mistake I would make when I would trim the foot is I would trim like underneath. I would look at the shape of the foot from underneath, and that was a big mistake because I would always end up having the little toenails show, and I hate when toenails show. I think it looks really cute when they have a nice little round cottony foot. You'll see at the end. But he's super chill. Look at him. He says, oh, nope. Just make sure he doesn't get that mouth on the scissors. But good boy. After I do his feet, I do one more once over with the comb just to make sure I didn't miss anything. I use my comb to just double check that I didn't miss any knots. When I have the time, it's really important to double and triple check your work just to make sure. It would really suck to send him home with a tangle. So I make sure that he's all brushed out. And then I give him a spritz of cologne. A lot of people think that it is our shampoo that make them smell good, but it's a good, healthy smattering of perfume. Made for dogs, of course. And now he's done. Look at that face. He's a good boy. I'm a good boy. Did I do good? Yes, you did good, Wyatt. Good boy.